analysis and analytics, IT governance and management, and the integration of ICT in health and education. He works with the Open University of Tanzania, generally lecturing, researching, and providing advisory services related to computer science and information technology within the country and beyond. Currently, Dr. Mfuka also serves as the Director of Consultancy and Outreach Services at the Open University of Tanzania, and additionally, he coordinates ICT initiatives under the UNESCO Chair on Teacher Education and Curriculum. So please, let's put our hands together to welcome our keynote speech by Dr. Ildefonso Mfuka. So Dr. Mfuka will be joining us online. Dr. Mfuka will be joining us online and delivering his keynote speech online, which I think is very apt, given we're talking about technology today. So let's put our hands together to welcome Dr. Mfuka, please.
Yes, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Karibu sana daktari. We are awaiting your keynote speech. You are very welcome.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hello?
We can hear you. Are we muted?
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
You can
Can you hear me,
proceed.
please?
Yes, we can hear you. You can proceed.
Okay. So, good morning.
We can hear
Hello,
you.
I'm not sure if I can be heard over there.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be keynote speaker in this event of Kairuki University convocation. I didn't get the first part of introduction and all that, so I will say that the protocol is observed, knowing that taking into consideration that since I cannot see properly there, I'm taking consideration that the chair of the body of Kenny is there, so I recognize that, and also the vice chancellor, and probably the chair of the council, and the open convocation members. So, so in this case, this is the theme of this convocation is navigating advanced in digital healthcare, in which specifically I will be speaking on emerging trends in digital healthcare as it has been provided. So, first of all, let me congratulate Kairuki University for navigating to today's sixth convocation, knowing that the first one was done in 2018, and today we are in 2024, which is the sixth convocation. So congratulations for 6 years across the board, taking convocation as an important aspect before the graduation. So, so in this case, therefore, it is indeed an honor and privilege to stand before you with, in this case, support of digital technology that I will be talking about, and the theme of this sixth Kairuki University convocation. And this theme, which is navigating advancements in digital healthcare, is indeed timely because it reflects the critical junction in our journey towards improving healthcare systems worldwide, in which our university, Kairuki University, as well as the Kenya institution as a whole, and the Tanzania as well, in which we exist, we are observing this happening, and actually we are practicing it. Because we can see quite a lot when it comes to Kairuki University in terms of different systems like Moodle that is being used in teaching and learning, but also in Kairuki also, where we see a number of systems, Mafia Box, as well as the DC, MRI. If all these actual equipments, they use quite a lot of technology. and also going to IVF the same, and going to Kairuki pharmaceutical. It is the same. There is quite a lot that is being used when it comes to digital technologies that is contributing to the advancement of healthcare. So basically, there is quite a rapid change when it comes to digital technology, and specifically in healthcare. We are no longer confined actually to only traditional methods. We are still using some, but we are not really confined to only those ones. There is quite a lot of technology that we are using. There is the transformative evolution actually when it comes to technology in the healthcare. So for that matter, my talk today will dwell in these 6 aspects: introduction, key trends in digital healthcare, including artificial intelligence, which is quite a top nowadays, but also opportunities. What is the opportunities for Tanzania, which means in which the EU and the Kenya as a whole is in. But the challenges and the considerations, as well as call to action and vision for future, and I will conclude. Generally, because we have, I have only 20 minutes, so generally I will be going very fast, but generally the objective is to provide the overview of key digital health technologies that is shaping industry already. Now it is doing it, but also in future. And what is important out of these technologies is not the technology themselves, but the innovations that it is bringing in enhancing, you know, the outcomes as they get into our health facilities, as well as operational efficiency, so that we can be able to provide the better results, and also the accessibility, so that we can be able to take in care of the issue of equity and the inclusion. So now coming to introduction, and this I have already talked a little bit. The digital healthcare generally it refers to the use of technology to deliver health services and improve the quality, accessibility, and efficiency of the care that we provide within our health facilities. But also, and this is coming from just a simple thing like mobile health applications, all the way today we are talking about data analytics with big data and all that, and also the aspect of artificial intelligence. So there is quite a spectrum of digital health solutions, which is vast and actually growing rapidly. So globally, when we look at the health systems, we see that they are grappled with quite a number of challenges, such as, for example, rising costs, as we can say. In our case, it's even worse with the dollar also rising up. So workforce shortages and the burden of non-communicable disease, for example. And in Africa, specifically, which includes Tanzania, we can be able to see this also start from that, compounded with the issue of limited infrastructure, especially if you want to get out of, let us say, the slum, or even in the slum, and the uneven distribution of resources, and also gaps in access to care, talking about the country as a whole. So, however, digital health now coupled with the AI offers some hope or some contribution rather into solving some of these challenges. The general digital health, including AI, there is potential to bridge gaps to access into our health care providers, meaning health facilities, and finally improve the patient outcomes, operational efficiency, and accessibility that I've indicated already. So in the diagram here, you can see basically all this, when it comes from the mobile tablets and using a big thing like MRI and if, for example, for issue of Kairuki Hospital, but going through all the way providing services at distance, where you can be able from Kairuki Hospital, for example, you can be able to provide the service to the remote areas without being there using technologies, and therefore increasing accessibility. Now, when it comes to the key trends in digital health care, I grouped in some areas. One of them is telemedicine and remote care. So when it comes to telemedicine and remote care, we can see that and knowing that telemedicine, which we also call telehealth, is a practice that provides the efficient evaluation, diagnosis, and treatment of patients from remote locations. We can see that this basically this has been achieved in a way as we speak by providing remote consultations using platforms, the relevant platforms that enable virtual interaction between healthcare providers and the patients. If you look at this diagram, for example, you can be able to see what happens when it comes to telemedicine, where basically whether we are talking about from health facility or from just a doctor somewhere there, or from even intensive care, ICU, we can be able to provide the remote care. So from these specialized individuals or facilities, you can be able to provide remote care to using technology, in this case healthcare technology. You can be able to provide the same service to rural health center, for example. Or for example, doing that in the navigating ship in Lake Victoria or in our ocean, Indian Ocean. But also as our ambulance move around with the patients, they can continue. We can provide emergency health care there, by using this telemedicine and remote care technologies. So, but and also given that these days we have also connectivity to our homes in different parts of the country, you can be able also to do this patient monitoring rather than all the time this coming in and therefore probably reducing cost and all that. So this is telemedicine, and we have seen the practice increasing. For example, during COVID-19 pandemic, we saw quite a lot of that. Also, for example, IVF, Kairuki Hospital IVF, which is in Bunju, we can see that we have patients there that actually are being accessed remotely, at least for the first visit of looking at what they have, or what are issues. This telemedicine or telehealth is being used. So we can see that these things, we are in them already. It's a matter of improving, but we are in them already. There are platforms like, for example, Daktari Online and the MTIBA, which is MTIBA is like mobile TIBA in Kenya, which is it has done quite significantly, as you can see in this picture here. MTIBA is also connected to their national health insurance, and quite a number of millions of people already they are connected to it, and therefore telehealth is happening within that MTIBA as well as the Daktari Online, which means we can learn from them and also improve what we are already doing, for example, at our green IVF. The benefits of this telemedicine, there are quite benefits, like, for example, reducing travel time and cost. For example, these people that we are dealing with, there have been people from Europe, from Africa, for example, with the IVF. And therefore, obviously there is the travel time and the cost which is being reduced. But he also expand access to care in rural and safety areas. You can see the diagram there. But he supports continuity of care in pandemic individuals, as we saw in COVID-19, or even in ambulances that move around all the time. Of course, there are challenges like limited internet access in some regions. That's the government, and worldwide there is some improvement each time. Each day that pass, but also there are concerns about data privacy and security, because the more you put data in this digital environment, the more you can be able to subject the data into privacy. So there is concern around that, though there are means of doing that. So that is one area, key trend in digital healthcare. But also there is this issue of mobile health, mobile health applications, where in this case we are talking about sharing information through our mobile. And our mobile is important because if we look at our country now, there is quite a significant number of mobile use, across our country, across Africa, and so on. So handling health through the mobile, it becomes something useful. So, and therefore, that's why we are also talking. We see key trend as the mobile health applications that empower individuals, in this case, to take charge of their health, mainly. So in this, we can be able to use a smartphone, for example, for health tracking, medical guidance, as examples, for example. And things like, for example, fitness trackers, medication reminder, teleconsultations, and all that. And the monitoring chronic diseases. So we can be able to see, for example, in Tanzania, platform like Wazazi Independent, providing critical maternal health information via SMS. So you can see in this picture here. So this is happening actually already in the country, and there is a link of that. So, but yet, so we can be able to see, for example, MWEalth here, which this includes the issue of using the different apps that are connected to mobile, that can be able to assist in improving our individual health. But it's so advantage that is promoting health, this kind of technology. They promote health, awareness and self-care, so that it's not hospitals. It is not health facilities only, but ourselves we take care of ourselves by using such technology. It also enhances patient-provider communication, because with the MWEalth kind of mobile, we can be able to write, for example, this Wazazi Independent. There is quite a lot of information that is that we can be able to share across. And of course, there is increased online clinical training that also can use VR, virtual reality, and the augmented reality as new technologies that can improve that area. Of course, there are some challenges that ensuring quality and the regulatory compliance, but those are things that we can continue working around them. So the other key trend in digital healthcare is the electronic health records. This is almost the traditional one, but it is good to talk about it because it is the case of almost everything we do. So, for example, at the national level, we can be able to see these electronic health records being centralized with patient information, which actually, with all this information around, we can be able to use such information to improve continuity of care and reducing error. And also, for example, if in Tanzania we have this Tanzania Health Information System, which aims to digitize health records for better data management and decision making in this space. And now with artificial intelligence and with big data, data analytics and so on, with all this data around, we can be able to predict even some behavior and be able to do a better decision making. So in the picture we can be able to see this thing, which is basically at our president office, regional administration in the local government, that they handle this. And also in the ministry, we have the system as well as at the regional, at the local government facilities. But at the level of, for example, in case of health facilities, and taking example of Kairuki Hospital, we have Afya Box that basically when it comes to electronic health records, we are handling everything. The issue, as we can see, these days we don't. We are dealing with the NHIF, which is major national insurance. Even submission is actually done online, so we can be able to see this is quite a key trend in digital healthcare, that it is already there. We can continue improving it, especially now being able to use the data that are in that we have accrued for several years. They can be able to tell us the pattern of the service we are providing, where to improve, and where to provide probably more service better, and so on. So, but another area of key trend in digital healthcare is what we call Internet of Things. But in this case, for medical from medical point of view, Internet of Medical Things. Wearable healthcare devices. Now, this one also, it is the trend taking advantage of the internet with us. So basically, it refers to the technology that connects to the internet, allowing it to collect and transmit health data in real time, enabling remote patient monitoring and personalized healthcare. So this is also an area that is trending when it comes to digital healthcare. And the example of this IoT wearable devices is and vital signs. They actually take advantage of gathering this vital signs. So, for example, smartwatch, for example, is one of these that they can be able to take care of, track heart rate, activity levels, sleep quality, and so on. But also the issue of fitness trackers, blood glucose monitors. So we have all of these technologies that we can be able to see basically here. That we can be able to see here. The way all these can be connected to increase the way we are providing healthcare, to improve the way we are providing this healthcare, but also to increase the accessibility and to use these facilities that we are already having, whether it is a watch, which is smartphone, which is smart, or it is a tablet, or it is a smartphone. It can, apart from using it in business, in all these other aspects, it can also contribute when it comes to health by just embedding this, integrating this technology of Internet of Medical Things or healthcare devices. So basically, these devices they assist healthcare providers or health facilities to get connected to people through different platforms. And if we look at down here, we can be able also to see that we have a number of things that can be done using this Internet of Medical Things. Monitoring, for example, monitor blood pressure and share data with the doctor, for example, or is a monitoring and sharing of glucose reading much more reliable and we can be able to see some of these diagrams and some of, for example, provide honest reporting of health and activity that patients otherwise might be able to forget. So you can be able to see sort of what is happening and putting some sort of graph that then it can be interpreted, and if there is assistance which is required, then it can be provided very quickly. So such wearable healthcare devices they be able to contribute in improving healthcare facilities and in the country as a whole. Key trending in digital healthcare is blockchain in healthcare. This is active on InFi. I mean, there is quite a lot of development in this area, but still we have to do quite a lot. But blockchain generally is a decentralized ledger system ensuring secure and transparent data management. So the idea behind this basically, when it comes to healthcare, is to offer secure and transparent ways to manage patient data, ensuring privacy, and of course reducing fraud, which could be important in our hospitals, but also, for example, to people like NHIF that we see today deploying people, for example, at Kairuki, also in the other places, while actually having this probably it can increase, it can increase the level of trust and therefore reducing cost, and those people are doing other things rather than being stationed there. So we can be able to see different application of this blockchain in healthcare. For example, patient data sharing across hospitals. We work together in different, this health facility like Kairuki, it works with the other hospitals well for different, as the referral aspects and so on. So that rather than someone starting from afresh when it goes to the different hospital, can start from where actually this other health facility have ended. But supply chain management for essential medicine, manage supply chain, preventing counterfeiting, for example, when it comes like MSD and so on. But patient transfer between providers can be seamless and it's very quick for that matter. But also transparent claims for health insurance, which actually is a big issue, because especially now with the HIF that dominates this area, so probably increasing that transparent can reduce also the cost of managing all that, which can probably provide some money to do more things. Or probably to even cost a little bit more, so that people they can have the money enough to be able to handle their health facilities. So here in the picture we can be able to see basically blockchain, how they transform healthcare from all the way from how blockchain can solve healthcare issues like interoperability, data integrity, and so on, but also universal access, where you can be able, once your data is somewhere in a certain health facility, then it can be used by other health facility, but in a manner that is secure and integral. But also we can be able to look at the drug traceability, for example, to be able to trace the drug, so that if there is any issue, we can be able also to solve it, to see where actually the issue is. But also the aspects of patient data management that I discussed already, but clinical trials in general, in terms of monitoring effective and removing, for example, fraud and the data manipulation, and also the claim and billing that I have indicated with, for example, NHIF as an example. So there is an advantage which is enhancing data security and reducing breaches, but also to ensure tamper-proof medical records, which probably is more important, not only in one facility, but across the country and across the world for that matter. There are, of course, some very high implementation cost, regulatory uncertainty, because they have to understand this and so on. But those are things that I think we continue improving in that area. The other thing is now we are talking about virtual reality and the augmented reality, as it is we've seen football, for example, having deployed the issue of VR there, and they are assisting quite a lot of those referees to be able to do a better decision making when there is some uncertainties. But in healthcare, we can use this VR and AR, which basically they refer to transforming healthcare by providing immersive and interactive experience and innovative solution for improving significantly from the training, for example, Kairuki University and the other universities, but also to treatment and the patient care. So to see, for example, AR can be used to visualize the surgical procedures in 3D, therefore improving precision and the outcome. So we can be able to see from the picture here, you can be able to see how this can be able actually to assist you from the training, where rather than probably affecting the patient and so on, you can start much earlier using these models and therefore increasing even the issue of the competency of our medical students and in that case increasing also the competence base which is promoted by our Ministry of Education. So when it comes to VR AR application in healthcare, we have from medical training, for example, education, we are talking about AR games, like for example this touch surgery, and I recommend that I share this slide. So I put the link here. You can download it actually in your last night I downloaded it in my mobile, and I tried to use the a little bit, so we can be able to see how our students, they can be able to learn from this. Not only our students, even our surgeons here, our medical practitioners, they can be able to do. So 3D anatomy structure and all that, they can be able to assist in understanding and be able to provide in the understand before even the surgery itself. What will happen, what could be some alternatives, and also minimizing the use of cadavers during practical training, because with this, it's as if you have cadaver, you can be able to do a number of things in advance. But also in hospital and remote surgery, where VR creates immersive environment for surgeons to practice complex procedures and to stimulate them before performing them, to help think of different scenarios and so on. I was discussing with the Kairuki hospital before, sometimes back, on this MRI and the if that is there. And actually I was told that you can be able, those patients that are treated in if, they can be able to take some images within MRI and be able to put them in the if as to simulate them in advance of doing the actual thing. And in this case, you can also be able to see the certainty of being successful or not, and therefore participating in decision making of whether the case should be done there. So we can see that this kind of technology we are also having it, and I'm glad that Dr. Ruta will be presenting around the issue of this aspect, if MRI that we have in place, so we can be able to hear more around this. But already we are having this in place, so sometimes we don't even know that is VR or AR and so on. But it's something that we can continue even learning and doing even more. So there are all these aspects of simulation and so on, using 3D, as we can see in this picture, for example. EcoPixel, for example, allows the radiology to see CT and MRI and the ultrasound scans in 3D, and by so doing, it becomes you can be able it can contribute quite a lot when you are looking at a certain aspect rather than using the traditional methods. So VR and AR, we can see that it can be able to improve also when it comes to healthcare provision. Now, as another key trend is big data and the predictive analytics, which basically is dwelling on the fact that if you have a lot of data that you're being collected, for example, at K8 with the Afya Boxing, but at the national level, we've got that health management system at the national level. So that's quite a lot of data that can allow actually healthcare providers to predict disease outbreak, for example, out of those data, allocate resources effectively, but identify also risks, identify at risky populations for that matter. So, and also, this kind of technology, they can be able to assist in predictive analytics, where which can, in that case, we can optimize treatment protocol, leading to better outcome, and also the issue of cost saving. So, when I was looking at this, I saw Massachusetts Medical Society. They came up with the application of big data in healthcare, which is actually indicated there from diagnostics, identifying causes of illness, by looking at the entire data that you are having, but also preventive, and therefore looking at what happened to the previous ones, and therefore using that to the current one, like the lawyers do as well. So preventative medicine, precision medicine, medical research, which is important, but also cost reduction and so on, as you can see in the list. So there is quite a lot that we can also get advantage of from this big data in healthcare, especially when you collect quite a lot of data. Now, the last key trend in digital healthcare that I'm speaking about is the issue of artificial intelligence that everyone nowadays is talking about. So, probably talking about finding it rather than seeing it as an opportunity. So, I would rather look at it as an opportunity that we can use in also improving our health care. Of course, taking care, as we do that, taking care of all these ethical aspects that are coming with it. So, generally, artificial intelligence is the simulation of human intelligence processes by machine, particularly computer systems. So, basically, so for that matter, yesterday, the day before yesterday, the convocation of our university that was done at the graduation as well in Tigom, one speaker was speaking about this aspect, and he spoke about the issue of 91% today. It can be done by artificial intelligence. So in that case, we have to take the advantage of it, so that we can be part of it. We can take advantage of what it can do, and that what it can do, it can be part of us of things that we are doing. In this case, healthcare. So in this case, we can see that there is revolution. I mean, we powered diagnostic and predictive analysis, in which basically. Using AI can be able to analyze extensive data sets to identify patterns, enabling disease detection and accurate diagnostic, which is important when it comes to healthcare. So, but also AI system outperformed, for example, the macrologists in detecting skin cancer by analyzing imaging with high accuracy, for example. We are told from research. There is the issue of personalized medicine, in which you can be able to put forward your profile, and then all these lifestyle factors in your profile can be able to tailor your treatment differently to other person. So there is the issue of drug discovery and development, which is important, and it is accelerating the way we can be able to come up with the new drug, as we have seen, we have seen, even for example, we have seen the first novel coming up from a scientist who used the AI to accelerate this issue of development. So I'm actually told about the time. So basically, we can use virtual health assistant chatbots, digital twins in healthcare, where we can be able to look at the to model first first what we want to do before we do the actual thing. So that basically we can be able to do some sort of simulation actual thing, which increases the accuracy and also the certainty of what we are going to do. So when it comes, because of the time, I will go very fast. But the artificial intelligence also, we can, since we are here, we are in the convocation, which means we are having the university people who are using also, who are in this area of medical services, medical aspects. So in the research, we can see that artificial intelligence, these are traditional way of the way we have been doing the research, but with the AI, we can be able to overcome some of the challenges by automating some of automatic repetitive tasks, and therefore enhancing accuracy, enabling researchers to work with quicker when they are doing research. So in this case, but also in teaching and learning, we have seen the way AI can be able to create adapted learning material that are tailored to student needs and enhancing personalized education, as we can see here, and therefore enhancement of student experience through this generative AI. And we have seen, for example, ChatGPT being very useful when it comes to research, when it comes to creating content and research, in which basically it can be able to assist, for example, in doing literature review, rather than using quite a lot of time. We can be able to use this and therefore just sparing the time for doing other things that are more creative. So the issue of hypothesis generation, the issue of doing the actual research aspect, as it is indicated in this diagram, it has been simplified by ChatGPT. But also, so in this, when it comes from literature review, all the way to data analysis, and so we can be able to use that. When it comes to opportunities for Tanzania, we have a number of opportunities, and as we have this education and training policy 2024 version 2023, the latest, which is emphasizing on competence-based integration of ICT in education, in this case in healthcare training. So, but also we have UNESCO ICT competency and now AI competence to educators and learners. So we can be able to take advantage of all this. We can take advantage of this technology to be able actually to align with these policies. And for example, the focus, the 10 strategic priorities in digital health strategy, to be able to move very quickly in what we are doing. We have some challenges in consideration, in which we have infrastructure gaps, of course, as we come into this technology, ethical practice in data privacy and security, in which we can be able to see that although we have all these challenges, but we have, for example, data protection act that is somehow and also when it comes to AI, there is all this issue of making sure that we practice ethically and so on, so that we can overcome this challenge and move forward. And as I finish, there is this call for action when it comes to a vision for now and the future, strengthening, for example, public-private partnerships so that we can be able to take advantage of this technology, those providers, the government itself, private sector, and so on. But investing in capacity building, which is very important. For example, the AI, and here in this picture here, I try to put UNESCO latest AI competency framework, and also the link that you can be able to access, where they put what actually the education institution like KU can be able to do for their for the educators, but also for learners, and also the issue of fostering research and development, as well as adopted to patient-centered approach, so that we don't focus on technology itself, but actually we look at priority needs, preference, and the rights of the patients as we put all these technologies, as we continue to invest in and put in all these kind of technologies. So as I finish, I look ahead, I envision a future where every individual in Tanzania has access to quality healthcare powered by digital innovation contribution, contributing to enhance the patient outcome, operational efficiency, and accessibility, which in that case we have contributed to the socio-economic development of the country. And with that, I thank you very much for giving me this opportunity and for listening. I present.
I would like to thank you for this very detailed, surprisingly specific presentation. My take home is that the possibilities of integrating technology in healthcare and health education are endless, they're limitless. You have an idea, you're curious, there are people that we have on board currently in Tanzania and out. Make these connections that Dr. Wambegu, Professor, and our guest of honor mentioned, and you have a path somewhere which will ensure this universal health care, universal health coverage, but also access for Tanzania, especially to quality healthcare services. Since we are still a low and middle income country, which is very resource constrained, okay? So be curious, basically. Moving forward, I would like to welcome Dr. Freddie Rutashunzibwa, who is a Kairuki alumni, class of 2013. Graduates, where were you in 2013? He is currently serving as the head of the radiology department at Kairuki Hospital, which is a department loaded with varieties of advanced imaging modalities. He's also a lecturer at Kairuki University, and Dr. Rutashunzibwa is known for his tireless commitment and hard work in the field of imaging and non-invasive procedures. He's a qualified high-intensity focused ultrasound expert, otherwise known as HIFU, and this is a technology that is regarded to be a pioneer in non-invasive surgeries for both benign and malignant diseases in East and Central Africa. Dr. Ruta cannot be here with us today, however, he has sent in his place, on behalf of him, Dr. Juliet Kairuki, who will be talking about the role of HIFU technology in healthcare. So let's welcome Dr. Juliet and, I guess by extension, Dr. Rutashunzibwa as well.
Good morning. Yes, as I've been introduced, I'm Dr. Juliet Kairuki. I'm here on behalf of Dr. Freddie, and I have only 10 minutes, so I'll jump straight to the topic. And I'm here to represent the role of HIFU in healthcare, especially with the theme that we have, navigating advancement in digital healthcare. This is a new technology in our region, in Tanzania, East and Central Africa, and it was introduced in our hospital for the first time in December last year, 31st. So we have been working with the HIFU system in our hospital for 1 year now. So shortly I will explain what is HIFU. It's a short form for high intensity focused ultrasound. So in the radiology department, we work with ultrasound machine, and this is a new technology where we use now the ultrasound, which normally we use for diagnostic purposes. Here we are using it for treatment purposes, and it's a completely non-invasive tumor ablation therapy. So, can you go to the next? Yes. So, how does it perform? So, the high intensity focused ultrasound treatment simply uses the principle of magnifying glass, where you concentrate all the sun rays to one focal area and cause raise in temperature in the focus area. So using the machine, you can direct the ultrasound waves to the area where you want to ablate the tumor cells. And then once those ultrasound rays have been concentrated to one area, it causes thermoablation or thermocoagulation of the tumor cells, and they die, basically. You cause necrotic ablation. So after the causing necrosis of the area with the tumor, eventually you'll be treating the tumor without doing a surgery or opening the patient. That's why we say this is a completely non-invasive tumor ablation therapy. So for the first time, HIFU was performed worldwide. The first case was performed in 1997, and it was an osteosarcoma patient, and the patient was declared treated from the tumor, and then that patient has been one of the pioneers in research on how we can use it to treat differently malignant and benign tumors. So far we have more than 200,000 cases worldwide. Yeah, so we have different indications on how we can use HIFU to perform. Those are indications of how many different tumors that you can treat using HIFU technology. And then most common is uterine fibroids. Even in our hospital, the most common tumors that we have been treating are uterine fibroids. And then we have prostate, BPH, and prostate cancer can also be treated using the HIFU technology. And then we have liver tumors, whether primarily liver tumors or metastatic. We have pancreatic. You have uterine adenomyosis. And when it comes to uterine adenomyosis and fibroids, we collaborate closely with the IVF center because we help these women also in terms of their fertility. So we have the system, and we are in close collaboration with the IVF center to help the women with suffering from infertility. Yeah. So this is a short on a Kairuki HIFU journey, and then we have the global HIFU centers. You can see in Africa, we have South Africa, we have Egypt. I think Nigeria also is not on the map there, but we also have Tanzania now. And we have treated more than 100 cases. And as I said, most common is uterine myoma and adenomyosis, followed by prostate CA and BPH. So that is a short diagram showing how is the HIFU system that we have in Kairuki. And then down there we have the transducer, which is the one that is going to produce ultrasound waves, and then they're going to go straight to the tumor and cause thermoablation of the tumor. And this is now the MRI, which shows before treatment. Actually, this is the MRI from our system, Kairuki Hospital. So this is one of our patients. And then we can see before the treatment, in the contrasted imaging, you can see the contrast. The tumor is picking up the contrast, showing that there's blood supply. Those cells are like they have blood vessels supplying to the tumor. That's why you can see they being enhanced by the contrast. But the two diagrams that are below, you can see the area of ablation where there is no contrast uptake to the tumor cell. That means you have already treated the tumor and there is no uptake of the contrast. And this is the patient before and after treatment. That was before, and that is 3 months after her treatment. The uterus was huge with bulky myomas, but you can see on the other diagram there is a significant reduction in the size of the uterus, and also you can see only sub-centimeter uterine myoma, but this is after 3 months, yes, as the pointer is showing. So in next. Yeah, in a course of 1 year, you can see this is a tumor, it's a myoma, pre-treatment, 1 month, you can see the area of ablation, and then that is 4.5 months, and then in 10 months, which is almost 1 year, you can see the tumor has completely disappeared. So with challenges and opportunity, together with our theme today, this is, as you say, it's a high technology system, and then it's a new technology. We invite students and the university in general, as this is a new area of research. We have, our system can be operated remotely, but also can store all the information and patients who have been treated, which is good for research. And so far, we have already submitted one of our paper at the IREC. We are still waiting for ethical clearance. So, welcome. And we have very few surgical cases. And we welcome also the surgical faculty to come and collaborate with us in terms of other cases apart from myoma and adenomyosis.
Thank you very much, Dr. Juliet, for that very interesting presentation, but also for keeping time. So I'm not sure if it's HIFU or HIFU, because I thought it was HIFU, and then Dr. Juliet for the first two statements said HIFU. So maybe as we move towards the discussion part of the convocation, someone will ask for clarification on that. Before we get to the discussion, I would just like to reiterate something that I'm sure we'll also hear from the other presenters throughout the day. The themes usually kind of overlap and we go back to the same things, which is good, really, if you keep repeating that. It's like playing a song over and over again until the lyrics stick in your head, right? So what I really appreciated that Dr. Juliet mentioned is that it's not just the procedure and then that's the end of it. For example, patients who have uterine fibroids. It's also going a step farther and helping them with conceiving or infertility, or rather fertility challenges, and making sure you treat the patient as a whole. Something that Dr. Mkonde Senkoro alluded to in her address. So for the next few minutes until 11:10, we are open to discussions, questions. If there are any concerns maybe, or something that the floor would like to share as well in terms of technology and healthcare, you are very welcome.
Thank you, MC. Thank you, MC. I just wanted to know from the last speaker, at what stage of malignancy it used to be used? First stage, second stage, or third stage? That's different stages of malignancy. You know that, yeah? Just wanted to know what was the benefit. Can you give to treat cases of malignancy? Is it a localized tumor or I don't know?
So Professor's question is, Professor is asking, at which stage of tumors, if we're talking about malignancies, can he be used to treat those tumors?
Yes, so when it comes to malignant tumors, as you say, it depends with the stage. If it's still localized and you can reach it using the HIFU system, that means you can completely treat the tumor using HIFU. But also, if the tumor has already been advanced and has been metastatized to other areas, so it depends. There are some tumors, for example, if it's in the liver, you can reach them, but if they're already in the chest, there's a chest cage, you cannot reach them. So in this case, we normally have to use HIFU combined with chemotherapy or other oncology combinations.
Let me thank the presenters for the good presentation. Specifically, I wish Dr. Fuka could hear us, but I'm not sure if it's going to respond to that. You know, the theme, as you say, is that advancement in natural care. When this is here, and we have this very nice presentation. And in this presentation, actually, went further to show what are the advantages are many, and we know that. Even some of the challenges. Now, I wish they made a conclusion as to if you have to weigh the advantages versus the challenges, considering the situation we are, where are we? Because the cost implication is one of the areas that I think we need to seriously think about. And two, these gadgets, when we bring them in, I remember I was reviewing a manuscript from Kenya, where now what they are doing is look at some of the facilities that facilities are receiving from the world, or even grants. They have shelf life, right? Lifespan. Some of them 3, 4, 5 years. And they are, you see, even your boxes which function. Now, I wish we would hear from the experts. If, for example, we want to engage in one of the, the models that we are proposing, which one does he think probably would be more cost effective as far as Kairuki or as far as Ken is concerned? That is my question. But I'm not sure if you can hear. Okay.
So as we're trying to get Dr. Fuka back online, is there any further questions or is there any further questions or contributions? You could also write them down. Okay, so we have, I think we'll go back to HIFU first. We have a few questions. Can HIFU be adapted to treat multiple conditions simultaneously, or is it condition specific? And the second question is, how does HIFU selectively target tissues without damaging the surrounding ones? Or is it based on a benefit versus risk weight, like a ratio?
Okay, so I'll start with the first one. We say we can use HIFU to treat multiple conditions simultaneously. So It depends with the condition. For example, for uterine fibroids, we have women who have uterine fibroid and also have adenomyosis. So these are different lesions, but they're all in the uterus. So normally you can treat, it depends on how big. Even in one session, you can treat both the adenomyosis and uterine fibroids in one sitting. So, but if it's, I'm not sure what what they were referring when you say multiple conditions. But I think if it's different organs, like you have next to the liver, and then you have maybe a prostate CA, then that one you have to do different sessions. And the second one, it says, how does HIFU selectively target tissues without damaging surrounding ones? So, while using the HIFU system, you have to have a target area. So you put your focal point using the machine, you put the focal point to the area where you want to cause the necrosis. So as I said, the ultrasound waves, they are low energy ultrasound waves that they come from the transducer through the skin to the lesion. So only when they're in the focal area, that's when all the low energy is concentrated in one area. But through the skin is different waves of low energy. So these ones, they won't damage the skin. It's only when they meet at the focal point, that's when they are concentrated and you get the raise in temperature, and then you cause the coagulative necrosis. The temperature at the focal area will go above 100 degrees centigrade, from 60 to 100 degrees centigrade. But through the skin, it's just one low energy ultrasound wave going to one focal point. I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but that's how it works.
Just to follow up on that before we let you sit. There's a question that says, when the tissues die, when they are hardened, what happens to the products of the degeneration of these cells?
Yes, so after the necrosis, the body itself will slowly take care of the dead tissue and form the new healthy cells. So eventually the tumor will shrink. It's not like exactly after doing HIFU, that's when the dead tissue will go away. So as you can see from the MRI I showed on the last, it took almost 10 months for the whole myoma to become like a sub-centimeter. So once it's dead tissue, it cannot grow anymore, and then it shrinks. And then we have few cases, like the one I said we're waiting for ethical clearance. We have a submucosal myoma, so the whole dead tissue was passed transvagina, and then it came out because it was a submucosa, so it came out as a whole necrotic tissue. So those are a few cases.
Dr. Mfuka, I hope unaweza kutusikia. We have a question for you. Karibu Professor.
Dr. Mfuka, thank you very much for your presentation. Can you hear me? Maybe it's unfortunate she cannot hear. Hata niongeze tu majibu alilolitoa, Kairuki. The question about the products of degeneration, the worry which I have is when you apply, the system to heal huge, massive tissue, then the products of that degenerative process is huge and it's rapid. But normally we know that the system, the human body, can predict. Remember the process of apoptosis? Yes. So it can predict. And therefore the body prepares itself. But the amount of damage, or the product damage, is not that much. Because my worry is, once you produce so much product, particularly the enzymes from the cells, they may cause damage to the body also. Maybe this is where the research is needed. I can give you an example. In the lungs, for those who smoke, I'm not advocating. It's the same way but don't smoke, it's up to you. But I'm telling you as a scientist, for those who smoke, see, the products of smoke, tar, yeah, cells, the macrophages.
Yes, actually.
Alaskia. So the macrophages, you know, engulf this. So the macrophages engulf the tar or the tobacco products, and actually they die. And when they die, they release their enzymes. As a consequence, that's when you have pulmonary disease. And then after, when your man is worried, you wanted to be sure that with the massive destruction of the tissues, all these products is the body prepared suddenly to cope up so that they don't cause some complications elsewhere. Unfortunately, Dr. Afunga, however, to steer that we'll try to talk to you later.
Yes, I've just been informed that he's asking for the questions to be written on the chat box. So we have a question for Dr. Mkonye Senkoro, and in the meantime, while I'm reading that, you could get Professor's question and type it in the chat box. Okay. So Dr. Mkonye Senkoro, your question says, what is the role of medical students in Tanzania in the navigation of advancements in digital healthcare as the CEO of one of the largest healthcare foundations in the country? And how would you ensure inclusivity of medical students in this transformation?
That is for me.
That's the only
Hello, is that question for me?
That's for me. That's for me.
Is that question for me?
Dr. Fugo, we're working on typing out the question for you in the chat box, so give us a few minutes.
Can you repeat? Now I can hear properly.
No, that question was not for you. Your question is going to be typed in the chat box in a few minutes.
Okay, that's good, that's good. I'm waiting for it.
Okay. So thank you so much for the very good question, which is very relevant within the given time, where we know most of our universities are producing several students, medical students, and here I'm talking about doctors. So I'm not very comfortable giving them my back, so I wish I could have a look at them. Samantha. Yeah, it's good to have an eye contact. Okay, so I recognize the number of medical students who graduated from different universities. They say we're producing almost 1,000 medical doctors, I think, a year. Sometimes even going to 3,000 medical doctors. And here I'm referring most of the medical doctors graduates. And it's very critical when we're doing our trainings, and I'm so happy to learn from HKU that you're already integrating issues of digital health technology. And as you can see from the previous speaker, when he was mentioning, the number of opportunities of self-employment by using digital health by the medical doctors once they graduate. Because if you're all waiting for having a formal employment, we understand the challenges which are encompassing the entire environment that we're operating within the country. So I feel medical students have a great role in enhancing digital health once they graduate by having their own innovations, and we must appreciate the number of doctors now we see having their own innovations. Some of them were mentioned here by the previous speaker. Daktari Mkononi, there's also MTBA. There are a number of innovations coming from the medical doctors themselves once they get into the field of providing services. And we realize there are some people who cannot go all the way to the hospitals, standalone hospitals. They want home care. And this is also another opportunity that the students or the medical doctors can navigate into. But another proposition which is coming up, I really like this part, while you're studying. We shouldn't wait until you graduate. I know when you're studying, you have the opportunity to practice within the hospital setting that you are being trained on. Like here, you're practicing in the Kairuki hospital as universities. How can you also get attachments to other organizations? Because as medical students, as we know, not all can become clinicians. We need to integrate issues of public health, prevention and promotion and clinical care, so that we look at the client holistically. And I see this is where the role comes in of such organizations, non-government organizations, where we're having a number of interventions and programs at the community level. I think this is an area that we have not really expounded upon, I must admit, us as Kappa Foundation and other organizations. Mostly we just remain to wait until we graduated. And I think this is an area that we can see best way we can collaborate with Kappa Foundation on this area. I'll be happy to explore further on that part so that the medical students becomes more inclusive in the practical sense on how they also provide public health interventions during their study period. Yeah, I hope you got the response. We can add more questions. I'll be happy to respond. Thank you so much.
Dr. Mfuka, can you access the question in the chat?
Yes, I have seen the question in the chat, and basically, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I have seen the question. Thank you for that question. It's about considering the costing of the technology, which app is more relevant and cost effective for consideration at Ken. And second, what is second part is where can we train medical experts in digital and technological aspects. So basically, the first part of the cost of involved technology, yes, in some cases the technology might be high. For example, we talk about VR and AR, the virtual reality and the augmented reality, those devices and so on. But when it comes to, for example, integration in teaching and learning, Moodle itself, I was asking some experts there at KU and what version of Moodle they have. They say they have 4.1. Now with 4.5, already the issue of AI has been integrated, in which you can be able to do a number of things, like for example, gaming and so on, which allow interactive questions, for example, and such stuff. So for that case, for example, Moodle is open source, and probably that's why you are using it, and many of us university we are using it. So it's a matter of customization a bit, so that you can take up those new features that you are taking advantage of new technologies. Sometimes they might require a little bit of API, which is already also suggested already provided. So there are a number of things that are a little bit expensive, but there are a number of things that they are manageable. For example, when it comes to the issue of virtual reality and so on, I mean this issue of 3D, having some sort of interactive content and so on. In the presentation, I indicated, for example, a certain app that you can be able to download. Each one can be able to download and actually use it. So there are things that actually they need a little bit of more resources, but there are things that actually we can be able to use them straight away. But the other thing when it comes to medical students as well as educators, there is, when it comes to education, there is this issue of AI UNESCO framework, as well as the usual ICT competence framework. Now those ones, UNESCO have been developed for everyone already, for all institutions, which means we can be able to use it straight away. So those ones using it as educators, as students, it can be able to guide us on what actually to do in order to integrate AI in teaching, but also in the way of learning. So these are things that can be done. For example, Open University of Tanzania, there are quite a number of things that we are doing, and other institutions in the country, there are other things that they are doing. So in this case, it is a matter of exchange. There are things that can be done as the exchange with these other universities, but there are things that can be done actually within Coursera, for example. That is, Coursera, they provide MOOCs for different, which are open for different kind of these new things to technology to integrate, whether it is in medical or universities in general. So there are a number of things that actually they can be done in a way that is affordable, but at the same time there are a number of things as well, technology that need a little bit of planning, costing, and implementing them slowly as you move forward, looking at the quick wins among them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mfuka, for that response. So there are a few more questions coming up, but in the spirit of time, because we've already overshot our time in the first part, I would like to welcome the second set of speakers, and then in the meantime, if you still have questions for the first set, you could note them down, and then we'll have, because we have another discussion session coming up, and so we can have collective questions as well again. So moving forward to the second part, I would like to call our next speaker, who is Dr. Natasha Tipo. Dr. Tipo is a medical doctor who graduated from Kairuki University in 2021, and she currently works in neonatal care and emergency medicine as a registrar at MBALIMBALI National Hospital. She is also the program officer for Afya Pamoja, an organization co-founded by fellow Kairuki alumni, which collaborates with the Tanzanian government to enhance healthcare through digital patient feedback. Alongside her clinical duties, she has engaged in medical outreach and leadership, notably serving as secretary for the Rotary Club of Kairuki University. In her position as leader of the Rotary Club of Kairuki University, she has led initiatives on menstrual health education and has supplied essential items to government school as well. Dr. Tipo will be talking about leveraging technology on client feedback in healthcare. Please welcome her with a round of applause. We can do better than that. She graduated in 2021. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Natasha. I graduated from Kairuki in 2021. I have a privilege standing here representing my team from Afya Pamoja. The co-founder, her name is Helga. She's also a graduate from Kairuki as well. So I just want to let you know that we meet and we help each other in opportunities. So Afya Pamoja is basically a Swahili translation of what we call Health Together, which is basically what we are about. So our mission as Afya Pamoja is to create a digital platform by which citizens have a part to give feedback into the healthcare system. As a result, enabling them to foster accountability and responsiveness from the healthcare system. So our main vision is that citizen has a voice in important decision making in the government, particularly in the health system. So by show of hands, how many of you would like to receive feedback? Show of hands. Thank you. Do you people agree that feedback is important in enabling trust and forming connections? Okay, thank you. What about as a tool of enhancing improvement and performance? Do you agree that? Okay. So, I think most of us agree that feedback is really valuable. However, it can be really difficult to hear. Okay. So, what I'm trying to say is that when we build a culture of giving and receiving feedback, we open doors to deeper connections and trust. And allowing ourselves to receive these feedbacks enables us to be accountable for ourselves. As a result, keep striving for change and improvement as well. So I have a scenario for you. Suppose you're a pregnant woman, or it doesn't have to be you. Maybe I'm giving a scenario of a woman who is pregnant, someone in a region in Tanzania. This woman has to make an important decision of where she wants to give birth. She needs a place where she feels safe and protected. However, there are stories going around in the healthcare that is a high level for her. Stories of negligence, stories of the caregiving being negligent towards the care. Stories of, no consent. Stories, very many stories that are scary towards her. She is scared, however, she knows that her giving birth at a health center is very important because there is a high chance of survival for her and the children and her baby that she wants to deliver. So this is where feedback is important. I'm trying to say that if one woman and a second and a third and a fourth give feedback into the healthcare system about these problems that are occurring in the health facilities that are around them, there is a high chance change will occur. Now our issue is we need a feedback system that will ensure that these feedbacks are heard. So this is where we come in. So I'm sure we're all familiar with this box. This is a feedback mechanism we use in most of our healthcare in Tanzania. It is a box with a hole, with a padlock and key that is opened from time to time to read feedbacks. Now in our survey, as a team, we found issues with this feedback, with this mechanism. It has served its purpose. I'm sure there are a lot of Swahili saying that it has served its purpose over the years. But there are many issues that occur with this. So in our survey, we found that most of them are out of reach. In other healthcares, the padlocks never had keys. In other healthcares, these have never been opened at all. In other healthcares, they developed a new function for these boxes. They use them for their tiny, tiny trash, so they're trash bins. In other healthcares, these are found right outside the doctor's office. So people are worried of the anonymity because if I do it, what happens? What are my consequences when I come back here? So these were the issues that we saw as a problem with this amount of feedback. Okay, so generally these are the challenges we see in this. In terms of, in the sides of clients, which are the citizens, awareness of their system generally, the low level of trust in the effectiveness. Words like, oh, we always put them there, but we don't see any changes. And they basically do not know what happens with their feedback because change is always something that takes time. But in the case of health workers, there is low volume of data collected. and it's an analog system. So basically the data collected is not real time. And by the time the changes occur, it's already a very long time. And it's difficult to take these data from various levels of the healthcare system because it's very analog. So our solution to the problem is to replace the box, the use of paper and pen, rulers, and every other tool people use to put their suggestions in these boxes with a mobile phone. We believe that almost 80% of Tanzanians have mobile phones. It doesn't need to any kinds, the smartphones and the other kinds. We believe that almost a large number of Tanzanians have mobile phones. So with the use of our system, it's basically a SMS-based system that involves a series of text messages that are sample questions which require short answers to basically assess the quality of services the citizens have received from a health facility. So basically what the citizen needs to do is to send a message to a number that is produced in posters that we put in all the healthcare that we've assessed. And then when sending the text messages with the word Maoni, it activates our system to send these questions towards them. So these messages are free. We've actually got a lot of support to ensure that these messages are free so that it does not hinder with the system. So basically this is what the user of our services will see. So they're just basically questions which require short answers to assess the services they receive. Now the data collected is directly integrated into the government's health information management system. So basically the data collected goes inside, so it provides them with the insight of what is going on in the healthcare that are around Tanzania. So this is what it will look like for a healthcare personnel. That means the decision makers in healthcare. It's just graphs and charts that will give data of what the citizens, the services that the citizens receive in the healthcare. So we believe that with these changes, with the use of our system, it brings changes in both sides. For the citizens, they're sure that their concerns are sent into the direct healthcare system, and that they're ensured of change immediately. And as for the healthcare, they get to know the needs of their clients. So far we have worked with 150 facilities in Tanzania, getting feedback from about 5,000 patients, and basically what this has done, it has basically improved quality of healthcare from the healthcare givers, and also increased quality of the healthcare facilities themselves in terms of equipment, medication, all those factors because of the feedback that they received. So this, from our work that I presented recently, these are our future goals. We want to expand our operations in more health facilities in Tanzania. We want to go to more than 1,000 healthcare facilities and be able to reach 2,000 citizens, 2 million citizens further. And our long-term goal is that we can go all over the healthcares in Tanzania and also provide our services for the nearby countries as effective as we can. I just wanted to show a slide that we have worked with various people in ensuring that our project has reached its purpose over the years. And I'm sorry. This is us. If you want to get more information about our organization, we believe that a health system that is responsive and aims at receiving voices of the citizens is a basic right, and it's crucial in improving health outcomes for a long period of time. So basically that's what our organization is about, and if you want to know more about our organization, these are our details. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tipo. At the core of the therapeutic alliance is the patient-practitioner relationship. And obviously, if the patient is unable to express explicitly whether they are satisfied with the service provided to them, then clearly the whole point of practicing is moot. So what Dr. Tipo and her team are doing is actually very crucial in ensuring that quality and equitable healthcare services are provided to people who need it. Moving further, our last but definitely not least presenter of the day is Dr. Mushi. Dr. Mushi works in aviation medicine. She's a dedicated public health professional specializing in aviation medicine. She graduated from Kairuki University in 2011 and earned her Master of Public Health from the University of Dar es Salaam in 2018. She also attained her aviation medicine studies qualifications from Cairo in 2017. She is Tanzania's first female aviation medical examiner, and she has expanded her work to Kenya and the Comoros, collaborating with the Civil Aviation Authority. Additionally, she teaches aviation medicine and first aid to cabin crews to ensure sky safety. Currently, she works at Fit to Fly Aviation Polyclinic, and she will be talking about aviation medicine. So please put your hands together and welcome Dr. Mushi.
Hello. Hello. It's still morning. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I'm so happy to be back home after 13 years of departing from Kairuki. I'm happy to see all the people, they are healthy. I wish to give you the fitness to fly. But you are not athletes. Okay? Okay, I will start with the video so to get you the overview for what really aviation, what we are doing. Thank you very much. Let's proceed with the slides. So, I'm Dr. Mushi, the medical doctor from Kairuki. I'm having a public health specialist. Then I'm the DM, that's designated aviation medical examiner. I'm working with Tanzania, Kenya, Komoro. Okay. Who are we? We are doctors. We are qualified doctor, have license with practice in medicine. In addition, we have a knowledge in aviation medicine. DAME, designated aviation medical examiner, shall have a practice knowledge and experience in the condition which the holder of license in rating carry out their duties. Next. So this includes flight experience. We have to know when the pilot is in the airplane, how does he fly? What are the conditions suffering? What are the suspectable effects if he or she is not fit? So we have to have the flight experience, simulator experience, on-site observation, and other hand-on experience in the license authority to meet the requirements. Up next. Who is considered fit to fly? So, a complete medical history, physical examination from the head to toe, investigation, mental assessment, behavior assessment, all in totality will determine who is fit to fly. Defining what you get will make me a decision to enable that somebody is fit to fly or not and give her or him a certificate, or refer or defer or not giving her or him a certificate. So we use manual for civil aviation regulation from Tanzania Civil Aviation to come into our conclusion. How many are classes of medicals? So every aviator, airman has divided themselves into 3 classes. There's class 1, class 2, class 3, and 1 class 3. So class 1 are all pilots. And pilots can be commercial pilots, can be mat crew or the class, the risk and the occupational hazards. So pilot class 1, you need to be very strict on whatever you are doing. For a second, you lose. But all in all, they have to be very safe to fly, for the safety of the flight. So how long do they come for you to check for the medicals? So it depends. For class 1, above 40, you'll come every 6 months. I have to see you. For below 40, you come every month. Class 2, the same, 2 years under 40, and 1 year above 40. Class 3, 2 years, 40 years, 1 year above 40. So, following the TCA regulation of fitness, the applicants will be given a certificate for fitness to submit to the personal assessing for further assessment. What are we checking to them? So, when you come, we check for ECG, audiogram, weight, height, BMI, eye color, pulse rate, hair color, blood pressure, vision, color perception, blood grouping, blood glucose, HIV screening, hemoglobin, UPT, urinalysis. That's just to mention the few. But those ones are directing you where to go, where to seek another investigation. So you have to you have to be very sure for his or her fitness. Next. For any abnormal finding, the applicant is referred to specialists for further evaluation. And the report must be provided for further decision making for DAME whether to give a certificate of fitness or not to give. Who is unfit? Not everyone can become an airman. So who is not unfit to become an airman? That is applicant with have diabetic mellitus type 1 who are taking insulin. They are not supposed to be. The angina pectoris, myocardial infarction, they are not supposed. Bipolar disorder, cardiac valve displacement. Next. The epileptic people are not supposed. Heart replacement, you also not supposed. Psychosis, we don't do that. Acute infections, TB, hepatitis, acute HIV, we don't allow them. Next. Coronary diseases has been treated or is untreated, has been symptomatic or insignificant. Any coronary disease, we don't. Disturbance of consciousness without satisfactory explanation of cause, we don't even. For the substance abuse, also, we don't allow you to become an affiliate. Permanent cardiac pacemaker as well, they are not allowed. Personality disorder that is severe enough to repeatedly manifest itself, overact, also are not allowed. Transient loss of control of nervous function without satisfactory explanation, here they are not allowed. Next. So in summary, there are 5 mental health, which for sure they are not allowed to become navigators, to 6 cardiac conditions. So cardiac is an issue. 6 conditions are not allowed. 3 neurologicals are not allowed, and 1 infectious and 1 endocrine diseases. That's all. I expect a lot of questions.
Last statement. I think it's a lot of questions, so let's get to it. So we're now moving on to the discussion part of our program, and I'm very glad that we've got some time. Yes, let's have the speakers move to the front, please, for easy access to you. So we had a number of questions from the earlier presenters. If you have any questions for our second round of presenters as well, please feel free to either raise your hand or you can write it down and pass it around and we will read it out for you. So for Dr. Juliet, someone was asking how much does the HIFU procedure or rather treatment cost and whether it is covered under insurance. And then this question was already answered about metastasis, but if that was not clear, you can access the presenters at a later time. He's used to treat leukemia.
Okay. I see HIF is an
an interesting topic. I think we have a lot of questions, and apparently I had only 10 minutes, so I could not cover everything. So, with the first question, how much does it cost? Roughly starting from 2.53 million and above, depends with the condition. Tanzanian shillings. And then, is it covered by insurance? So far, it depends. You need to get approval from insurance. There are some insurance where we give them the invoice, and then they, depending on their clients, we have clients which the insurance have been covering them. So it depends with your insurance. And leukemia, so the one thing I did not mention, I think, you can only use HIFU to treat solid tumors. It has to be a solid tumor. So if it's a cystic mass, leukemia, and other, you cannot treat. I think those are the questions. And then I have a brief explanation on what Professor was concerned about. Can the body handle that massive destruction of tissue? So we, the same as any other surgery, before treatment, you check the renal function, liver function, we give hydration to the patients, and then also after treatment, we give sodium bicarbonate to protect the kidneys, but also we do give dexamethasone. So there is a way to protect the body from massive destruction of tissue. Yes. And so far we haven't had any other adverse effect from treating the tumors. We have treated myoma more than even 10 centimeters in size, and we haven't had any issues so far. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Juliet. I think it's fair when service users are concerned about certain side effects of newer technologies and things like that. So I'm glad that we had this conversation here. There was a question posed for Dr. Mfuka, which we have communicated with him. Dr. Mfuka, can you hear us? Dr. Mfuka, unatusikia?
Yes.
Great. So the question that I sent to you, is it possible for Dr. Mfuka and his team to create capacity building sessions for KU faculty and students in using AI in teaching, learning, and for research purposes as well? You're welcome to respond to that question.
Yes, that is a very interesting question and comment, and basically we can do that in terms of different aspects, including AI integration in pedagogy when it comes to educators, but as well as the AI integration in learning activities when it comes to students. But of course, we can pack it with the issue of what we call TPAC, which is technological, pedagogical content knowledge. That's a framework that ensures as much as the content you know, as well as the pedagogy, you can be able to use the issue of technology to enhance the content. You are not in content, but as well to enhance the different ways you are offering that content to a student. But we can tackle, we can include it with what we call UDL, which is Universal Design Learning, which ensure that the issue of multiple engagement, multiple representation, as well as multiple expression, which combines with the technology in this case. So I will be happy to do that, and using this framework, like for example, UNESCO, which are already established, so that whatever we do, even someone can be able to continue looking at it as the teacher continuous profession development. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that response, Dr. Mfuka. We have a question for Dr. Mushi. And it says, what is the current practice for all airlines in wide coverage of fit to travel assessment? In reality, passengers are assessing themselves, while only passengers labeled as patients are the ones actually covered. How about a person who is not aware that they are a patient? This is why we leave it to the experts.
Okay. Well, what really we are doing is to give the certificate of fitness to the aviator. So, the aviator is bringing my certificate of fitness to the TCA and for renewal of the license. That is what we are doing. But this airline practicing to be the airline doctor, we do that as well. But for example, I'm working with Kenya Airways as their doctor. So the first person to see this client is sick is a cabin crew. No wonder we are teaching cabin crews the first aid and aviation medicine, and the knowledge to know this someone is sick, communicable disease in the plane, death on board, everything we are teaching the cabin crews. So they are the one to detect first the sick patient, the sick passengers. And then they bring it to the hospital, and then we start there to intervene. But others, for sure, aviation is still new in Tanzania like that. So majority, they just given that med form, then they just go and fill anywhere. And then, you know what, they don't know the knowledge of aviation. The plane is very good, but when you go up, there is a lot of problems. There is differences in pressure, there is hypoxia, there is turbulence, you name it. So for unfit passengers or clients, even a cabin, although we are dealing with the cabin crews and the pilots, but for whoever who is unfit and traveling up there is not very safe. I'll never did I answer. How about the person who is not aware she's yeah. So if he is not aware, the cabin crews need to do their job. So majority the cabin crew are you can see they are beautiful ladies, but they do a lot of things. A lot. They are firefighters, they are doctors, they are nurses, they give you food, they comfort you, everything, you name it. Thank you.
Follow-up? For Dr. Mushi? Okay, we can add that to them. We have another.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mushi, for amazing presentation on aviation medicine. So I have two questions. So the first question, you being as an alumni of Kairuki University and having expertise in aviation medicine, would you be interested to establish a short course on aviation medicine at Kairuki? A short course, even if online short course. And the second question is, being it a career of which somebody might have it like it's a passion that they want to be pilot or whoever, crew member, and they come to you to certify as their feet to fly, and then you realize maybe they have some medical conditions of which they cannot go into that profession. So have you been in a position coming across some challenges of individuals who really want to be and you find that they have issues that they cannot be able to fly, and how have you been able to handle those challenges from such clients, and if you have a few examples?
Thank you very much, Daktari. I'll start with the course, to provide course through Kairuki. In the beginning, I say I love. After 13 years, I come back to Kairuki. I love the home. Kairuki is my home. I'm ready, more than ready, to give education to them, especially in aviation and all the stuffs. Because I'm the instructor, I say in American Heart Association as first aid, then I'm instructor of ICAO, so I can provide health education. I'm ready for that, even from tomorrow. Again, you said about medical condition challenges. Hey, in every situation we have challenges, a lot of challenges. For us, pilots are the people who have their money, and then they also live the same life as you live. They have fun. They take alcohol. They take whatever. Sometimes drugs. So sometimes you find a condition which for sure you need to take the license. So they sometimes we have a challenge that they can cheat us. They can cheat you. So if you can't be so keen to know this one is cheating me. That is very, very difficult for safety. One example, it was, for example, if you want your child to be a pilot, piloting, just studying itself is very expensive. The cheaper is like 250 million. That's the cheapest. So don't put a lot of money if you don't know that your child is having a condition, right? So before going there, you have to see some aviation medical examiner. We are 10 in Tanzania, so you can go everywhere, check your child. Is the heart okay? Is he or she colorblind? Is he colorblind? So colorblind is very necessary as well. So the real example, it was Indian client came for going to South Africa for studies. Okay, came, then there's a part of come to check for colorblindness. Then we give the book is called Ishihara plates. You need to read all of them. You don't have to miss even one plate. So he was reading, then a lot of plates. He misses. He misses, then he was not fit to fly. So if he's colorblind, automatically is not fit. So I thought you need to do counseling as human. You know, aviation can be so addictive. So to remove someone who has those mindset of becoming a pilot and say, can you change your career? Maybe go to aviation engineering, or maybe go to something else, but not those who are subjected to medicals. It's hard, very hard. It's also distract your day as well. So the clients did not, we call them applicants. The applicant did not agree with the situation. So 2 days later, he came with the mother. With the mother, yes. Again, because we are still in a denial. We cannot agree this. We want to be our son to be the pilot. Please, can you repeat that test? So I take the book, then I gave. The mother was just here, then the son was here. You know that's the sex link. The mother will always read that. So the mother was just like a teacher, and the son. So okay, book. This is the book. Mother start to read, and then you. So the mother started. This is number 5. The son cannot read. You cannot read. You cannot read this 5. Another number 8. You cannot read 8 again. Another number is like, mother was also confused. Is it possible that he failed to read this number? I can see them. I said, yeah. That's how colorblind is. So we need to talk to them, we counsel them, Mama, it's too early, you can just change the career. But if you proceed with this colorblindness, you will get a lot of restriction. Pilot will not allow to land at night. Because at night, the runways change color into green and green and red. So if you cannot see green and red, you are colorblind. How can you fly? So it's a lot of challenges. That's one of them. There are a lot.
Okay, so there's still a number of questions for Dr. Mushi, but we'll switch gears a little bit. And there are a number of questions for Dr. Tipo. Okay, we don't ask why questions, so I'm going to rephrase this a little. So the question is, are there reasons for not including private healthcare institutions in your program? And then the second question is, who is the first receiver and actor of the feedback that I guess is received? Maybe we can start with those two and then go to a few more, or would you like all of them at once? Okay. And the next set of questions is, what are the challenges you have encountered in working with such a program? And do the healthcare workers consider the program genuine for health improvements, or do they see it as they are being put under investigation?
Thank you. I will start with the one that is asking about challenges and healthcare workers considering it as investigation. So, at the point of what are the challenges? Of course, every good thing has a challenge. Our system involves putting data into the information management system of the government. However, some of the health centers that we tend to do our work did not have access to internet, because these are internet was involved from the health center to the CHMTs and basically the chronological order of management in the healthcare. So the challenge was some healthcares didn't have full access to internet, so that the data could go. So that was among the challenges that we faced. And considering the questions, did the healthcare workers consider this as an investigation? Now, initially, when Africa Moja was formed, this was one among the major concerns. So, but how Africa Moja was initiated is that we involved people from different level of care, that means hospital, arts, and other levels of the healthcare system. So basically, our aim was that the feedback giving is aimed to improve the health facility itself and the health care provided to the citizens around the environment. So it was basically an inclusive co-creation in a manner that it doesn't look as an investigation towards the clinical workers in health facilities. There's a question asking, why does your program focus on? So it is, we've not ruled out private sectors at all. It's only that we've started with the government sector, but this is something that we can build even for private sectors. And Kairuki as a private sector, we could work something together as well. So it is something that just has to be worked on. So it is not that we've ruled it out completely. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My question is to Dr. Mushi. Aviation travel is still the safest way of traveling, but I have a question on the class one client. That's the pilot. We are very, very much aware if you miss something, even 0.0%, and then the results are catastrophic. We remember the case of Joaquin, who ran the plane into the mountain. I'm sure you're aware of that. And then we hear on more or less from time to time pilots being taken out of the plane while they are drunk. My question is there a tool which has been put into place now to mitigate this? Yourself, you are saying some of them they cheat, and Joachim definitely had a psychological problem. But for the drunk pilots, is there any other mechanism which is being put into place to make sure that this will not occur? And someone was asking, does it apply even to road safety? My colleague here was asking. It's not only the planes, here in our buses and so forth. Can you say something about that?
Thank you so much for the question. It's a good one. It's scaring, eh? But yeah, it's like this. I'm seeing a pilot, let's say 40 and above. I'm seeing him every 6 months. You get my point? And then all the 6 months, he lives his life. And then I see another pilot maybe for a year. He lives his life. So how can I follow him in the day-to-day life? See, it's very hard. But what are we doing? We are collaborating with operators. The operators are the ones who see them every now and then. When they come to work, they meet the operators and they perform their duties. Or the fellow, here we are doing the fellow airmen. They know each other very well. So if it's just at the peak, they come silent in the office. You know this and this. He's just behaving abnormally. Or he's insulting everyone he sees. That is psychosis. So I just chop into operator, there is this, there is a problem 1, 2, 3. Can you bring him here before he jeopardizes safety? That's how we are doing. But if they are trying to just spare that part, it becomes so hard. But what we are doing now is just working close to the operators. They are the ones who will help us. So there's a lot of stuff where we need to be helped by the fellows workers. Although when they come to the clinic, there's a lot of tools. There is a system as well, it's called Sophia, in which we integrate every information to the TCAA. Then the TCAA will give us the overview, what's the common disease now we need to stress on. We also provide the health educations to those people. Even though when they come to the medicals, they can mention someone they see it's troublesome. So we normally do that. We are like, sometimes we need to chop in for the sake of safety. Did I make sense? Okay. The second thing you said about the road. No. We cannot do anything, everything. Road is another authority. We are dealing with the aviation authority in the air. Does that make sense?
So I think on the backdrop of that question about maybe alcohol and lifestyle, there's a question on, is there a collaboration with other specialties? For instance, in terms of psychiatric conditions, mental health conditions, maybe particularly personality disorders, where some may not be officially diagnosed and therefore could go unnoticed?
That's a very good question. It's like this. For us, we are just screening. We are screening the airman. So anything abnormal, we start with there. See? So someone may come in your office shabby, does not talk like normally, you just determine this as a problem. Then you need to have enough time to talk and chop. You start to use your medical knowledge, what you get, then you convert it into that person. That what's the problem, you start to tell you a lot of stuff. Oh, I'm in a divorce, I'm like that. So that one, you stop the certificate. You just send him or her to the psychiatrist. So we work in collaboration with every specialty. So if it's psychiatric, we go to the psychiatrist, go and get treatment, then come back. Come back with the report, written report, as an evidence that you are fit to do your duties. Then from there, I'm starting my part. using the protocol and from TCA. Not only that, but even the airman who is pregnant. A pregnant isn't fit. Did you know that? So when the airman is pregnant, is unfit. So you bring him or you bring her to the gynecologist. Go to the gynecologist and make sure that you are uncomplicated pregnancy. If you are uncomplicated pregnancy, then you are not allowed to fly until end of 12 weeks to end of 26 weeks. That's where you are allowed to fly, which is not practical. But since you get pregnant up, you are not supposed to fly. You are unfit. So only the second trimester you are allowed to fly. The first and third trimester you are not allowed to fly. So there's a lot of cases in which you need to refer. Screen the client and don't rush giving a certificate. Make sure you are fit. You're just satisfied. Even from the lab result, you see that there is 7.9 sugar. That's a borderline. You bring to the physician. You do the ECG. You see there is a elevated ST. You bring to the cardiologist. Those people should bring you the written report for you to clear out. It's all about safety. The work is too hard, but we need to be so firm. Because sometimes we just consider it as a lawyer. Then you need to refer to a lot of books. So it's a kind of difficult work, challenging, but you have to be strict, very smart.
It's very important work, despite you saying it is difficult, because we, as the passengers, require trust in our cabin crew and people flying.
Sure.
It's very important work.
Sure.
So I have a few more questions for both presenters. I will not be taking any more questions unless it's a burning question. The term burning is subjective to your interpretation, but we can either go with your interpretation or say no. So a few more questions for Dr. Mushi. How long does it take to train in aviation medicine? And are there scholarships for aviation medicine? And then I'll just add on another short question. What happens if a cabin crew or pilot falls sick while in flight?
Okay. Well, how long? It depends on where you are going to study and what are you acquiring. So some acquire certificates and it's very expensive matter. So if you, and I don't see there is, maybe I'm not aware, but I once tried, I wanted to study Masters in Science in Aviation in King College. I tried to seek for a scholarship, they were sponsoring it, but at the end of the day it bounces. It's very hard to get, but it's very expensive again to study. For example, for a King University, for a 1 year of Masters, you need to have more than 200 million to finish the course. So that's only 1 year. So if...
How long is the whole program? Like a Master of Science, how long is that?
Master is 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah. But certificate you can do even 1 month or so. But the issue is where are you going to work? Where are you going to work? That's another issue. We don't have enough applicants in Tanzania. For us, we are only 10. We are only 10 doctors. Despite of being 10, but they are not enough for us to tackle them. Right. So the other question said, what if a cabin crew or pilot falls sick in flight? So our duty is to make sure these people are fit physically, fit, mentally fit, and whatever. So in a cabin cruise, it's normally not one cabin crew. Cabin crew they start with 2 and 6, but because of what you call economy, or because of biashara, some can just put 1 cabin crew, which that is risky. And the pilots, now we advise all the pilots should have a multi crew. They should have there should be 2 of them. So if one got incapacitation, the other one take over. Right? So, as I told you, cabin crew is a nurse on board. Cabin crew is a doctor on board. Any incidents happen on board, either a pilot is sick, a fellow cabin crew, a passengers, cabin crew are always responsible. They are nurses, those pretty faces.
And then our final question for Dr. Mushi before we move on to Dr. Tipo. It says, I'm just curious, first class of the age at 30 years and below have to be examined every month, while above 40 years is after every 6 months. Are there any reasons behind this?
Point of correction here. For a class 1, above 40 every year. For the above 40, it means you are getting older. Above 40. But below 40, above 40 you are getting older. It means every 6 months you need to see me. So below 40, you are supposed to come every year. See, that makes sense, eh? Because you are getting old. Everything is in its end, and everything. It's more likely to get the diseases like heart disease. Diabetics. You can name it. It's professor. But those below 40, they are young. Their organs are still active when they like. But we cannot be so satisfied because there is a mental issue below 40. That's an issue again. They are the ones who are smoking. They are the ones who... Shisha now has become a fashion. The work has become so difficult because of the technology. Shisha has become a thing. The shishas are putting a lot of stuff which disturb the mental. So, the science has just over time. The above 40, they take care of themselves with some situation on a mental or what, but they get the other hypertensive, diabetic, and the like. But the below ones, they got those acquired. They smoke cigarettes, they smoke shisha, they drink alcohol, and the HIV, it's an issue.
So each demographic, as we know, has their own healthcare needs, and that's why screening based on these demographics is important. So let's wind up our discussion section. I let the questions go because it got interesting and people kept engaging, and it's always good to have education be a continuous and active process. So to Dr. Tipo, the question is, you mentioned that improved quality of services to patients rose at about 32% within facilities. How was this quality assessed? And your final question was, how do we ensure anonymity, considering that the system that has been built by the team involves utilizing phone numbers, of which if one taps into it, I think it hacks into it? Yes? Hacks into it, one can access many personal details. For example, the phone number of these participants. This is a concern for people who would like to give reviews of which they are afraid of possible retaliations or I guess consequences from a few not so good people who may be in authority.
Okay. I want to answer a question that asks how was the quality assessed and how was the quality used to, I think, to improve the quality of services? Can you hear me? So I'm going to answer this question with an example. In one of our works in Dodoma, Gigi, we used our feedback service, and the service gave us a general picture that there was lack of privacy in the labor work, because initially we were working with pregnant women and women in labor. So the service basically roughly gave us this: there is lack of privacy in the labor work, based that the labor work is very open for every female. So this feedback was used by the facility to mobilize funds, and as a result, they developed their labor ward. The labor ward currently has separation spaces that allows privacy for each mother in labor. There are better windows that covers the wards from the outside environment. As a result, privacy was a change that occurred based on the feedback that we received. So that was an example of how it was assessed and how it brought up change. I think I've answered that question. The second question asks, how do we ensure anonymity? Now, when we receive this data, it doesn't go with a number. As I say, these are questions with single answers. These answers are collected as they're answers that are, was consent asked before a certain procedure? Yes, consent is asked. So the data that goes in is that these are the number of people that were asked for consent, not the number or personal details of the one using the service. So it's basically the general data that goes into the system, giving us that maybe in a certain health facility, 2% of people were asked for consent before any procedure or before anything else done to them. So, and 98 of them were not asked. So basically it gives us a picture of how the health facility functions, that people are not asked for consent for basically anything in the service. So this is what we use. We do not use the personal information. So anonymity is very much secure. I hope I answered that question.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tipo. Thank you very much, Dr. Mushi. And we are now moving on to probably the reason why the hall got full towards the second half of this convocation, which is awarding the best winners. But before I hand over to our second moderator, can we give them a round of applause, please? Before I hand over to our second moderator of the day, Dr. Malasa, again, I would like to thank you for allowing me the honor and privilege for being your MC this morning until this far into the convocation. You've been great, and congratulations to the graduates.
Nice moderation. So this time around, I would like to ask the high table to take up the seats, the guest of honor and the invited guests. And as they are taking their seats, we would like to acknowledge our sponsors, CRDB, if they're around, just to speak two, three words before we move on into an interesting session. CRDB. So 3 minutes over.
Good afternoon. My good name is Peli Mwasumbi. Being part of sponsors of the convocation, I would like to thank the administration, the entire leadership for giving us this opportunity, and for the at large all the business that you have been giving us. And as well giving us this unique opportunity to be here just to navigate around and hear from the professionals, especially the medicine professionals. I've heard a lot, and you know, I'm from a financial sector. We have got our words, we have got our jargons, you know. Now you come here, you hear a lot of words, a lot of vocabularies coming from your fellow Tanzanians. Then I came to realize that, wow, Tanzania is going somewhere, right? Tanzania as a country is going somewhere, especially when most of the presenters, and I would like this to be heard by Madam Honorable Anna Makinda. She knows this very well. Most of the presenters are the youth. We are having very energetic, young, and very intelligent. You know, specifically I've pointed out Madam Honorable Makinda because when she was beginning her career, she knows the late, was it in 1960s or 70s? 75. She was given that opportunity when she was very young. You see? So, seeing Dr. Yes, Natasha, right? Natasha, Madam Juliet, one of the best, have had very best presentation. Now, after a few recommendations, I would like to give you some very few. I don't want to speak of a lot of financial issues that financial products that we give as CRDB, but I would like to give recommendations to most of participants of this convocation that CRDB, being one of the best banks in Tanzania, we are the so-called the bank that listens. I know you've heard that. In Swahili we say benki inayomsikiliza mteja, right? And the other word that we use, our theme is ulipo tupo. You have heard that, right? Ulipo, na ndio maana kwenye hii convocation ni tupo. Sawa? Tupo. Mabenki yote hayapo hapa, sisi tupo. Kwa hiyo niwahakikishie kwamba kwenye hasa mnao graduate, lakini pia na watu mnaoendelea kwenye career yenu, CRDB ni financial service provider wa kuaminika kabisa. Ni local bank, lakini we are going international. Tumeshavuka mipaka anyway. Sawa? Nimewaelezea mwanzoni success story kwamba napoona vijana wanakuja na kasi mpya hasa kwenye teknolojia, mambo ya medicine, teknolojia na AI kama professor alikuwa na present hapa, lakini bank pia kama CRDB tunaenda international kwa maana kwamba tumefungua matawi Burundi, tumefungua matawi Kongo, tunakwenda kufungua matawi Sudan, tunakwenda kufungua matawi Komoro, tunakwenda Dubai, lakini pia kwa ndugu zangu ambao wana mahusiano sana. Sawa, na mnajua nchi kama nchi tuna mahusiano makubwa sana na nchi ya India, si ndio? Huko pia tunaelekea. Kwa hiyo tumeanza locally, tunaenda global. Sasa ni benki ambayo unaweza ukaiamini na tuna products nyingi kwa kweli. Sasa hivi kama umesikia huko kwenye habari, kwenye vyombo vya habari, kwa habari ya mjini ni kitu kinaitwa Samia Infrastructure Bond. Sawa? Kwa hiyo niwahakikishieni kwamba unapofikiria bank, fikiria CRDB. Sawa? Na as far as financial services is concerned, pamoja na teknolojia, CRDB ndio benki inaongoza kwa Tanzania. Nafikiri na East Africa and Central na Africa kwa ujumla kwa kutoa digital financial products ambazo zimekubalika na wateja. Yaani hapa nikiuliza wangapi wanajua kitu kinaitwa sim banking, wote tutanyosha. Unajua kwa sababu gani? Hata wateja wa mabenki mengine wanapotaka kupata huduma, sawa, za mabenki yao kupitia simu zao, wanaenda kuulizia kwenye mabenki yao, tuwekee sim banking bila kujua kwamba sim banking ni product ya nini? Unaona jinsi tulivyo, yani kila sehemu tupo, hata kwa wapinzani tupo. Sawa? Kwa hiyo tunatoa financial services, sio tu kuwa na zile akaunti za zamani, the conventional accounts zile za zamani, saving account, unakuwa na fixed account ambako unapata faida fulani kidogo, akaunti za makampuni. Tofauti na hiyo, siku hizi tuna products nyingine nyingi hasa kwa wanawake. Tuna malkia account ambapo mwanamke anajitahidi. Nilitoa dakika ngapi? Ilikuwa 3-5. 3. Nimetumia moja, si ndio? Nimetumia 5. Bwana Yesu. 5, sawa. Tofauti na products zile za kawaida za mabenki, sasa hivi tuna specific products ambazo ziko tailored kwa ajili ya mteja. Tunasema benki inayomsikiliza mteja. Kwa hiyo kila mteja anakuwa na mahitaji yake. Hapo sisi tunakupa huduma sawa na wewe unavyohitaji. Hasa kwa mfano kwenye sekta ya afya tunajua miradi mingi, hasa mradi kama akina dada Natasha hapa. Anakuwa na idea nzuri, wanaandika proposal zao nzuri, lakini when it comes to funding imekuwa ni shida sana, si ndio? Lakini sasa CRDB tunaweza kufund, na niombe dada yangu tupeane business card. Sawa Kama unataka ku-expand, when it comes to upscaling your business, it is now when CRDB tunaingia. Sawa Tutakuwepo kwenye kampuni yenu pia, tutafinance. Sawa Na pia mnao graduate, unapo think of kuanzisha application au product au kampuni, badala ya kuajiriwa, alisema madam pale kwamba badala ya kufikiria kuajiriwa unataka kuanzisha kampuni, anza. Sawa Anza, piga hatua, halafu when it comes to funding fikiria CRDB. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu CRDB sasa inatoa mikopo kwa health sector, na tuna guarantee schemes ambazo zina support. Zamani ilikuwa mtu anapokuja kuchukua mkopo CRDB tunasema weka collateral, weka security, si ndio? Weka nyumba, weka nini? Weka dhamana ambayo ina thamani kubwa fulani hivi kukava ule mkopo. Sasa hivi hapana, tukubani sana. Tunakwambia bwana wewe weka kidogo, alafu asilimia kubwa itakuwa covered na guarantee ambayo tuna wahisani wengi wanaweka fedha ili tuweze kuwa finance. Kwa hiyo nisichukue muda wenu mwingi. Sawa? Niwaombe sana, mnapofikiria huduma za kibenki jamani mfikirie CRDB. Mlipo? Asante.
Asante sana. Na mimi naomba ukimaliza taomba business card tukimaliza. Na mimi nitaanzisha kampuni ya MC mimi na Dr. Murawi. Na tuta specialize kwenye events za science. Okay, thank you so much. So this time it's one of the interesting moments that I usually enjoy, and yes, even if you did not understand anything that was being shared here since the beginning of the event, this is the time that you are going to understand, and if you were given a test, be sure you're going to get 100%. So with a great honor, I would like to invite the DVCIC for a session of conferment of awards to the best students. A round of applause.
Thank you very much, moderator. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here since morning. And our dear guest of honor, Dr. Ellen Kulia Sekoro, our dear Mama, the Chair of Kairuki Health and Education Network, our own Mama Kairuki, the Kairuki University Chancellor, Honorable Anne Makinda, and the Kairuki University Vice Chancellor, Professor Imana Mashala, the Kairuki Hospital and KPI Directors, distinguished guests, fellow faculty, the sponsors, staff, ongoing students, graduates, and their families, all protocols observed. Good afternoon again. It's my honor and privilege to stand before you at this moment as we celebrate excellence and dedication, not only of our academic staff and students, but also the unwavering support from guardians and families. Today we recognize and honor those who have gone above and beyond in their academic journeys, demonstrating resilience, hard work, and the spirit of excellence that defines Kairuki University. These awards are not just about achievement, they are a symbol of the potential to impact lives and communities positively. As we confer these awards, let this be a reminder that excellence is a journey. May these accolades inspire both the awardees and all of us to strive to greater aids in the pursuit of knowledge and service to community. Congratulations to our exceptional students and staff, and heartfelt thanks to all families and guardians for your invaluable support. Let us now proceed to confer these well-deserved awards. Thank you. So we'll be calling the awardee in front, and they'll receive a certificate, and then they'll shake the hands with the guest of honor and also the other esteemed guest in front. So I hope you can hear me from behind. And the first one was supposed to be the best overall. We are starting with School of Medicine. The best overall, best student of year 1, Doctor of Medicine, is Eric Frank Peter, but unfortunately he's not with us this morning. So can we put our hands together for Eric Frank Peter. Doctor of Medicine, year 2, the best overall student is Neema Salmin Awagi. And I'm asking the MD4, Abednego Stephen Maluka, to prepare research. Best overall. I did not mention the MD3 because according to our criteria, we didn't have any best student. And I'm asking the best overall for year 5, Doctor of Medicine, Veronica Jeza, to come in front. Congratulations. Now I'm coming for very specialities. Veronica should not go away because you are having another prize. A late Professor Kairuki prize. This is the Obstetrics and Gynecology prize, and goes to And we have another prize. This is the Professor Esther Maikambu prize for pediatrics and child health prize, and this goes to Irene Ibrahim Juma. Then we are having a prize for internal medicine prize. This goes to Dimpo Prakash Sonigo. Then we are having surgery prize. This goes to Mary Frida F. Muisa. Then we have a community medicine prize, which goes to Behina Utengano Wakaboju. Then we have a psychiatry prize. This goes to Hadija Hamisi. These were our best awardee from School of Medicine. Now we go to School of Nursing. This is Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Unfortunately, we don't have any best student for year 1 in the School of Nursing, but we have in year 2, and this goes to Venosa T. Mosha. And for Bachelor of Science Nursing year 3, the best overall goes to Faraja Anton Limo, but she's not here today. You can put our hands together for her. Then for year 4, Bachelor of Science Nursing, the best overall is Khadija Suleiman Abad. Then we go to Kairuki School of Nursing, and we have the diploma NTA level 4, 5 and 6. For NTA level 4, the best overall award goes to Dominica Anslem Hamaro. And for the NTA level 5, the best overall goes to Furaha John Swai. Then NTA level 6, the best overall award goes to Sabra Mohammed Abdul Rahim. And then we have for the e-learning semester 2, and the best overall goes to Maliki or e-learning semester 4. The best overall goes to Helena Yunus Msangi. Okay, now we are in School of Social Work, Bachelor of Social Work. The best overall for year 1 is Dorothy P. Mende. For year 2, the best overall is Neema Kalinjuna Livingstone. And for year 3, the Bachelor of Social Work, the best overall goes to Firdaus Ashraf Then we go to Diploma in Social Work, and these are the NTA level 4, 5 and 6. For NTA level 4, the best overall award goes to Sheliwe Mandozana. And unfortunately, according to our criteria, we didn't have any best student for NTA level 5, but we have a best overall student for Diploma in Social Work, NTA level 6, and it goes to Nakai Chandele. So thank you very much. Then I will hand over to the President to come and give the alumni awards.
Thank you very much. So these are alumni awards. So we have criteria for these awards, and this award is given to alumni to each class. They had we have a criteria where the classes chooses someone who fits the criteria. So the followings are the one who were coming out victorious in those
among the nominees who were nominated in class. So these were selected from the votes that were voted from classes, and they were, among the criteria was leadership skills, someone who has been a good leader, who has been able to do something significant to impact the colleagues, the class that they have been part of it. So the first one is from Doctor of Medicine. Alumni award goes to Hubert Patient Kaponda. More hands of applause, please. Congratulations. Bachelor of Science in Nursing, we have Elizabeth Norumbwangu. From Bachelor of Social Work, we have Firdaus Ashar Al-Mawi. Ordinary Diploma in Nursing and Midwifery, we have Sabra Mohammed Abdulrahim. So, Ordinary Diploma in Social Work, we have Nakai Chandele Gutu. More claps, please. So those were alumni, the winners of alumni awards. We have also a token of appreciation to our presenters of today's convocation. This will be handed a certificate. The first one is was supposed to go to Dr. Idfonsi Fuka to represent your success story. The other one goes to Dr. Consetha Mushi. Thank you very much. Well done, and thank you very much. So we have another token of appreciation to the former president of the convocation, and this is none else but Dr. Leonard Malasa. More claps, please, Dr. Leonard Malasa. Thank you for your tireless work. Thank you for standing with the convocation. And here we are, but he has done a very big job. Today we stand and we see convocation ongoing, but he has been one of the pioneers. He has sacrificed a lot to make it happen. So we acknowledge that and we thank you very much. So there are two more. And these are among the graduating students. We had volunteers for the alumni activities. So we have two graduates who are graduating today, and we have been the volunteers in our events like these ones that you see them serving today. Two of them are graduating, and the first one goes to Elizabeth N. Wambo. This has been our volunteer in our activities. She has been working together with us, assisting in many roles. Another one is Goodluck Kasuga. More claps, please. Yes. Asante sana, hongera sana. Thank you. So we have one last token of appreciation, but this one I'm not worthy doing it. I will invite the Vice Chancellor to please handle a token of appreciation to our guest of honor. Karibu. Excuse me. So before the Vice Chancellor handles the certificate to our token of appreciation to the guest of honor, let's also acknowledge our sponsors. We also have a certificate to appreciate their readiness to collaborate with us in making this event successful. So the first sponsor that will handle a token of appreciation to them is Ken Network, represented by Kairuki Hospital. So the director of Kairuki Hospital will go and represent the Ken Network. Thank you very much for always being ready to stand alongside the committee to make the event a success. Then the other sponsor is CRDB Bank. So we have a token of appreciation, a certificate to appreciate and acknowledge your support and contribution to make this event a success. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. More class, please. Thank you. I'll now leave the microphone to the Vice Chancellor to proceed.
Good afternoon. Now it is my pleasure to stand and say some few words. It's been a great moment today at our 6th convocation, looking at the multitude of people that have attended. Really, this is very, very appreciative. And the selection of the topic is critical because now this is the world of digital, it's the world of IT, and I think it's appropriate that we run this type of discussions more often instead of focusing on the privilege of anemia in the pregnant mothers and every year in and year out. Now I've been given this honor to give a token of appreciation to our guest of honor, Dr. Ellen Senkoro. As I said earlier on, she's one of us. She's at home, and therefore it is my pleasure to present this honor, this award to you. May I request Dr. Ellen to come forward. Naomba niwakilishe to our guest of honor, Dr. Ellen Senkoro. I haven't opened this, so I don't know what it is in, but I believe it's nothing that is going to affect your health. It's is not invasive. Please accept this token of appreciation from Kairuki University.
We can do better, come on.
Normally we do sing Fungua. Thank you very much.
Okay, we are approaching towards the end of our session, of our event, and I got a very big gift, so I was very busy opening up and seeing what was inside, so that's why I got lost in the middle of. Okay, so for now, we have a special token of appreciation. We have special visitors who have come and who have been the sponsors of some of the students who are studying here. And again, I would like to invite the Vice Chancellor to speak a little bit, and then the Chancellor will handle the gifts to the special guests.
Thank you very much. As I said here, we have a privilege this year to have visitors who have traveled all the distance from the US. And I mentioned their names here, or let me repeat. We have Mama Sonia Christensen. Please, can you stand up? Mama Sonia has never been to Tanzania before. At least that's what I understand. Now that actually makes it even more special. But welcome to Tanzania. Welcome to Dar es Salaam. And hope that you will enjoy the hospitality of Tanzanians. And interestingly, in the last 2 days, they traveled to Iringa, one some remote place in Iringa, where they are doing a similar thing of they are doing the same, and I had some discussion with them, in our office some 3 days ago. This is something to be able to follow it up, because I think that contribution is significant to our institution, but at the same time to the community that they've identified to serve. She's accompanied by her son. Ben, will you please stand up? Ben is a medical doctor, as I said earlier on, an obstetrician and gynecologist, and he's been to Tanzania on several occasions. He participated in some research activities at the University of Dar es Salaam. I think it was Department of Chemistry, something like that. Yes, previously. But now the team, the family, Christians, have been very, very fundamental in terms of supporting some Tanzanian students who are in need when they come from families who cannot afford higher education. And this is what they've been doing since 2019. Yes, 2019, long time ago. Therefore, for them to be here, I'm very happy. It's a pleasure that you are continuing with the activity that you initiated with the family. And we are encouraging you that please, let's continue to work together for the benefit of the Tanzanians, the community, and also the families of students who are needy. We are coming to the end of our event today. We have prepared some, I call it token appreciation. And although they look voluminous, but I know when they visit my office, they both say, we travel very light. Therefore, may I invite you, please, to come forward. Let me start with Mama Sonia first, so that we may offer you our token of appreciation. And I'll invite the Chancellor to do that on behalf of the Kairuki Education and Health. You're welcome. Makofi jamani. But I think that's not all for Mama Sonia. Please, I think hand that over to your son. And then come forward again for and also the last one for you. Yeah, I think let's do the same thing, yeah? Yeah, we are going to sing that, so open it so that you show it to the children. Am I to be a fool, so that you know? Thank you very much, Sonia. Karibu sana. Now next we invite our colleague. Yes, Ben, please can you come forward so that we do the same thing to you. Ben, we are also giving him token of appreciation. He almost comes here twice a year, and therefore he's one of us. Ben. And another one. Just open for people to see. And thank you very much. So that we can finish this event. Very good.
Thank you so much, Professor. And we are now winding up our event, so and get ready. We have a good lunch for you. Can you turn to your neighbor and tell him or her that we have a good lunch? Okay, so before we go to lunch, we don't want to, like, forget this event for good. We need to remain with some memories, right? And this is a time for photos. Like, I'll be calling in groups, and you'll be coming in front here, try to be quick, and we finish up with the photos, and then I will be calling you in turn to go for the good lunch, because I don't want you to miss. So if you go before I call you, you are going to miss your portion, because everybody has his or her portion, right? So the first, I would like to call the presenters to go behind the high table and take some photos. The next ones are going to be the best students. Get ready, the best students. And then after the best students, I'll be calling the awardees for the Alumni Awards of Excellence. So let's try to be quick. Thank you so much. Best students, please run in front. After the best students, the awardees for the Alumni Awards. So I'm calling upon the awardees for the Alumni Awards for each class. The awardee for Alumni Awards. So the next will be the Kairuki University Management. Kairuki University Management Team. After the management, so I will ask the management not to leave and stay there so that the other faculty members to join, from both schools. After the management, all the educators, the faculty members from all the schools, please be ready to join them. Convocation committee, please start moving forward slowly. So after the management, please, the faculty members, now it's a time. So management, please don't leave, You'll be joined by the faculty members, the educators, all the professors, the lecturers, the senior lecturers, the assistant lecturers, the tutors, all of you please join the management team. So maybe we should be doing in turn. So a few who have like the feet, because we don't want to miss anybody. So those who cannot be seen, please stay aside, and I'll be calling you to join after. Yes, let's start with the seniors. The professors and the senior lecturers first, and then the rest of us will join them. Thank you. Now the lecturers, the assistant lecturers. Convocation committee. Convocation Committee, please move forward for a picture. And the ushers, get ready after the committee. Ushers. Family, you can join the handshake for a picture. And I'm now calling the board members of Ken. Ken board members. Please come forward.
Nasema idadi ya watu walikuwa wanaangalia wanatufuatilia online. Wengine washaingia kwenye dashboard ya channel ya Chuo mwenyewe. Ndio mbaya na Chuo kwa
Ken board members, please move forward for a photo.
Tunataka tuwe na idadi ili tujiongeze kwa mwakani. Sawa.
And Kusa and the cabinet, the entire cabinet, please move forward for a photo. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are now volunteers, the ushers.
Hata mtu akinani kwa mfano sasa hivi mtu aki-exit unaweza kumuona. Aki-exit akiwa ametoka. Hao wenyewe baadaye kunaweza kupata tu kwa siku pale wakati walikuwa.
The ushers
iwa mwaka ikiisha. Inaweza dashboard.
So thank you so much for the nice work that you've been doing. We appreciate your hard work.
So lazima yeye ndo mbana ile kesi. Sasa basi tutashiriki kama
Thank you so much. So now, yeah, we are now done. We are now done. Sponsors, CRDB, and then Kairuki Hospital. Okay, now this is the time for good lunch. Are you prepared? I want to hear a good yes. Are you prepared for that? Yes. Okay.